Well, your dad actually runs a company of yours.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
a
my
little bit?
dad, he's part of the publication division, and actually, my dad, when with me, the way he felt like he kept me out of trouble is through the media. So whether through public access television, which he had his ministry show on, through writing, as well as like journalism at the time. There was no internet at the time, but really like going out and doing community journalism, like reporting on things that are happening in the community with the police and like this. He had me doing this type of stuff like before I was a teenager. So through my foundation, he's kind of been keeping that work going, and he's doing things with podcasts as well as radio shows, and specifically what I was talking about with this book division where we allowing people to write books, people from the hood, you know what I mean? Like they really have something to say. So it's not just about me saying, hey, I'm gonna write this motivational book. Like, nah, I'm giving the opportunity to the community to share their narrative.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're actually the oldest of 5 boys?
Yeah.
Any sisters?
No sisters, man. I mean,
All boys?
all boys. It's funny though, because I grew up, my pops and my mom, obviously, they had me when they were still in high school.
Okay.
So my grandmother was kind of like big mama, you know what I'm saying? So, while my mom was going to school and, working a couple of jobs, my dad went off, he got into some trouble and kind of changed his life and had to move out of California. So my grandmother was kind of the matriarch of the family so her other daughters were like my sisters. So I kind of had that traditional story of just like big mama raising everybody. So I feel like I have sisters, but they really my aunties.
Well, I mean, you and I talked about some of the gang shit around you growing up.
Yeah.
But I'd actually seen an interview with Doggy Diamonds, and there was an artist named Mitchie Slick.
Yeah, that's my big homie.
From your neighborhood. He actually said that your dad was one of the original Lincoln Park Bloods, the founding members of the gang that Mitchie's actually affiliated with.
Nah. I mean, my dad is certified. Like I said, and I never glorified it. I mean, funny, you and I did probably one of our first interviews.
You actually joined a gang when you were younger.
Man, you know what? I wouldn't say I joined the gang. Like it wasn't like the Boys and Girls Club or like one of those things where you could walk up and sign up. I grew up in a neighborhood in Southeast San Diego to where, this public assistance area called Bay Vista, and that was kind of the thing, like the cat you grew up with, and then it was
gangbanging.
Yeah, I actually, if anything, I was always trying to get away from it. Of course, during the early '90s when it was glorified, I definitely was wearing my Dickies and certain colors and the Chucks.
Was it a Crip set, Blood set?
It was a blood set. But it was one of those things where that's the area that I grew up in. I mean, even if you think of Southeast San Diego, the majority of the people from down there are from different blood sets. So, it was one of those things where I never even tried to glorify that because I felt like, I got out of that unscathed. I mean, I lost a lot of friends to, senseless gang violence. A lot of people still locked up right now. So I always try to downplay it and be like that cat that was allowed to get away. And I remember reading the comments, be like, man, he ain't bro. Yeah, right. Like, but it's like, and again, it kind of backfired in a way because that was the thing I never wanted to glorify. And I think that's what I was saying in the interview. Yeah. But you obviously had information that everybody else didn't know. And I was like, yeah, I'm from this, but I don't glorify that. And even still to this day, the stuff that I grew up around and grew up in, I tried not to glorify it, but it is what it is. Like, yeah, my dad is what we consider in our neighborhood a real OG. Like, and even the things he had to overcome and the obstacles, and now he's a man of the cloth and a man of the community. But yeah, he was one of them guys.
Okay, so he actually started that whole set.
Yeah.
And then you said he got in trouble, so he went to prison?
He got locked up, and then I think during that process, gave his life to the Lord.
Okay.
At an early age, though, like really even,
like early 20s?
Even before that, you know what I mean? Like, probably like, cause I was, like I said, I was at my dad's high school graduation. So even by the time he got to college or went on to college, and he had this miraculous story of like, one of the most dangerous and gangster dudes in the neighborhood graduated high school and went off to college, and like the whole community was proud of him for that. And went off to college to kind of study his ministry and do all that, but obviously on a whole different side of the planet, because California, Southern California got a little crazy.
No, it did, especially. I mean, your dad's age, he's probably in his 50s.
Yeah.
So that means that he was banging in the 80s.
Yeah, he was right in the thick of it.
Which is when crack first got introduced to California.
Yeah, my dad talked about even before crack. He talked a lot about
heroin.
Yeah, or and like angel dust.
Angel dust, PCP.
Yeah, and getting zooted as they call it back then, and that's like how before they go put in work, they would get crazy on that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's a theme. Yeah. Because, to try to deal with the things you're about to do.
Yeah.
You get real high.
Yeah.
To try to numb the feelings. Unfortunately.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and that's like we put down the newer generation for all the things that they doing with a lot of these opioids and drugs.
Shit.
It was the same shit back then. Like it was a different drug. You know what I mean? So we can't condemn this newer generation when it's been going on forever.